Crown Bet is back in the game. Built for the big moments in racing and sport. From a name you know. Bet with Crown Bet today.
Chances are you're about to lose.
Progress. It's relentless. Earned by pushing forwards through the setbacks and the wins. All for an opportunity that others might miss. Two worlds driven by performance, guided by data, insights, and feel. It's never just a move, it's a mindset. Because better never settles. Progress. It's relentless. Earned by pushing forwards through the setbacks and the wins, all for an opportunity that others might miss. Two worlds driven by performance, guided by data, insights, and feel. It's never just a move, it's a mindset. Because better never settles.
Welcome to the Aussie Millions, brought to you by CrownBet. We are day 3 of the main event. You are watching the feature table in action. We will rejoin this tournament shortly and give you some particulars on those players you're looking at in the screen very shortly. My name is Paul Curry. I'm with Ben Blaschke. We've been trolling the floor for the news as this event has been running now for 3 days with lots and lots of info to catch up on. Lots of the big players, beg your pardon for using the word lots a lot, but so many of the players that we needed to catch up on. The circumstances change, Ben, so often. The first thing we did was we sat down and talked about the big names, you know, Joe Hasham, Billy the Croc, Van Marcus, Michael Mizraki. So we'll start there and update our field and let them know how we're travelling. Of course, it's been 6 years since the Aussie Millions came back, and it's come back with a vengeance. Let's start with the numbers, Ben. 770 in the main event. Let's start there.
Yeah, well, it's a terrific response. First year back in 6 years. 770 was probably beyond anybody's wildest dreams for this first year back. It's only 52 off the biggest field of all time, 822 set in 2019. So that's quite a phenomenal response. And given, you know, the satellite schedule started a little later than I'm sure it will in future years, I think the numbers are shaping up pretty well for the long term.
Yeah, the answer from the question from Crown was, you know, is the appetite still there? You know, really, I mean, cautiously optimistic is the favourite phrase for the week, and we certainly have been, but boy, has there been a response from the playing group of poker community, not just in Australia but abroad. We've got international fields. We started today's play remembering that it started with 770 runners. That was the final number. We started the day with 176 players, and I'm now looking at the count at 114. The business end, we're joining at the business end, right? So the bubble is at 96 players. So we're very close now to starting to talk about the serious money that goes with the Aussie Millions. We're just taking a look at the feature table for a moment, and then we'll come back to the big information. So we've got Duncan Cameron and Kanan Yukana in a hand. Duncan with pocket kings. turn an ace. There's always an ace with kings. It always seems that way, Ben.
That is true.
It goes check and then across to Kanan, who bets. Kings will call. And the river a queen, so kings will take it down. Pot's about 68,000. Blinds are 3 and 6,000. It's a bet and a call, and kings will muck. So Billy the Croc, Van Marcus, Michael Mizraki, the big names that we were tracking very early on, all busted. Billy sent me a message this morning telling me they're busted, so we might get him on the commentary very soon. In fact, I think I see him in the distance. Van Marcus also, he made day 2, right, Van?
Yes, I think he made day 2, but busted quite early. He did make day 2, but busted quite early on. I saw him, he was seated at an interesting table early on day 2 with Sean Ragazzini, a very well-known Australian player. Sean busted on the first or second hand of the day. Van busted not too long after.
Yeah, right. So, 176 down to 114. Very well. It feels quick. It feels like the action's really moving here. But very shortly, we're going to talk about the bubble, right? So 96 is where the money is, and I'm sure play will slow down, and we'll carry that ride all the way into the time when we crown a champion. Minimum payout for those at home who want to know. The minimum payout is $20,500. So you get double your money essentially for a min cash, and most of the players here will be now starting to think about making some money. We rejoin the action. Nelson Dong, what do we call him? He's a super sub. We get him in, he commentates, he can do it all. This guy's got a following. He's a smashing fellow. He's raised it up here with Ace Jack offsuit, and Kanan, who we just saw, has 3-bet him with Ace Queen of Hearts. Folds around to Scott Stewart. Maxwell Young. Back round to Nelson. You can see Nelson's got about 235k in chips. Once again, blinds are 3 and 6. Pots 58,000 now. The question being asked of Nelson. Really insightful player. Explains the game super well. So glad to have him on the commentary team. He also said that one day I might be a crusher.
That's all you've ever wanted to hear.
That's all I've wanted to hear. So he folds. There, just a quick look at the chip count. Duncan Cameron with over 1 million in chips, and Maxwell Young 60k. Still 10 big blinds, so a little bit of time left. So 96 the bubble. We're now 114. That's the serious stuff. And also what's been really interesting is Danny McDonough, the tournament director, has introduced a time clock today. So it's not just timed hands when we're close to the bubble, it's timed hands leading up, which I think is a really, really great build to stop players from running that clock down to get to the money. And it's a 15-second pre-flop clock. What do you think about that, Ben? I think it's pretty positive.
I think most people quite like the idea of shot clocks, particularly as, tanking by, not by a majority of players, but certainly by some players has just become excessive. So I think, to rule it out of the game, 15 seconds pre-flop is certainly more than enough time. I think most people have a fair idea what they're going to do within 15 seconds and then 30 seconds post-flop. Otherwise, these tournaments could run for weeks.
And Jackson, our other co-commentator, he's still in the field, so we're going to get Jackson on. Last I checked, he was around 300k.
Yeah, Jackson's been having a good run, so we've got 2 of our commentary team going pretty well in Nelson and Jackson. So I'll look forward to, hopefully they make a deep run all the way to the final table, but if they don't, we'll get them on to talk about their journey.
Now, the big name in the field that has accumulated some chips as well is Joe Hasham. He's last checked in with him about 20 minutes ago. He was around the 700k mark, doing very well. I have to say, with Joe's run in the 5k deeps, in terms that he ran deep, he's got that look in his eye, Ben. Joe's got a real look of determination. He's always loved the Aussie Millions like it's the one thing missing in his cabinet. He's playing with the determination that I know Joe to have, and he's got some chips, but he also looks quite comfortable, like he's seeing the game really well.
Yeah. When Joe dials in, he's still a very, very elite player. I mean, we spoke to Joe in the lead up to this event and spoke about how the game is these days with, you know, all the kids coming through who know the game in and out through solvers. They know the math back to front. You know, Joe's words were, well, he's not really a solver guy, but he's always had a pretty good feel for the game. And he's not, you know, it's not like he has no idea of these spots, but just experience and knowing what to do. You know, there is a reason why some players back in the day before solvers stood out more than other players. They were elite more than other players because they just understood what needed to be done in certain
It's a good way of saying it. That's pretty much sums up Joe's game. In actual fact, is a bit of a mixture of old school instinct, etc. But he has evolved to understanding, and that's all you need really to apply. He's doing that, and well, if you didn't know, there's more than one Hasham to worry about. That was originally Tony, who's still in the main and not far from us, and doing quite well. So I think Tony had just over 200. That might be a little bit more now, but also his boys were also in the field. One of them remains in the field, so really, really good to see. I think it's James is still in the field. I'll just confirm that because we've got James and Anthony. Yep, it is James that is in the field. He had about 190k. That might be dwindling a little bit. Anthony busted, unfortunately. So we've got 3 Hashams remaining in the field. And anything goes, so we'll keep you updated on all of those. Najim, we caught up with Najim. He's got about 585,000 in chips last I checked, so he's doing quite well. Previous winner of the Aussie Millions, Dave Gore, was in the tournament until just a short time ago. I saw him bust. He pushed, as great players do. They're always caught with their hands in the cookie jar. He shoved on the turn with ace-5 of diamonds into the nut straight. There was a flush out there, so the player tanked for just a little bit and then quickly called. And Dave then tried to sell his time cards to no buyers, unfortunately. We also have... I just saw Nick Whitaker, the casino manager. He must be really proud of his team, and a lot of support's come from him. We've talked a lot about Harold and Dan and the way they've sort of quarterbacked the comeback of the Aussie Millions, but by all accounts, it's a much bigger team, and Nick Whitaker has played a really big part in bringing it back. So a really big shout out and congrats to the team from Crown, the whole team from Crown, bringing back Danny McDonough and the wider team. You've got our partners, which is Pepperstone, Poker Media Australia, and of course Poker News doing the editorial updates. It's a really big team here. Andrew Scott, our old mate Andrew Scott, Ben, he lasted quite some time in this tournament.
Well, he made it to day 3, and
oh my goodness, look who's just rocked up to the booth like it's just, you know, like you guys should be waiting for me. It is Billy the Croc, ladies and gentlemen. We're sorting out a headset, but we've got to worry about the volume knobs now with Billy on the oh, he's handing me paperwork, and my goodness, here are the questions I've got to ask Billy. Hang on, get on the microphone, Billy. I'm going to fight you on air. That's the best way to do it. Oh, we've got some. He's got a big name, a list. Oh my goodness gracious me! He's done more prep work for a guest spot than anyone I know. Oh, Billy, I love you. He's getting on the air. Look out, ladies and gentlemen. This webcast could go anywhere. Tony Hasham, I can reach out and say how many chips you got, mate. Roughly. We're live on the air, by the way. No exaggerations, otherwise cameras will... 325. Just remember that wasn't 325 when we saw each other. It started to go up. Tony Hasham still in the field doing really well. We'll just quickly go back to the action before bringing Billy in. We've got Kanan, who's been quite active in a lot of hands with pocket tens here, versus Ace-Jack of Thomas McMahon. Once again, Kanan showing some mustard. He's cracked kings very quickly. He 3-bet Nelson earlier, and he's picked up a hand here. Fires out a bet into tens, and Thomas McMahon pondering a call. Throws in a time card, so just taking his time. Each player with several time cards. 30 seconds, buys you 30 seconds. As I said, we're nearing the bubble. When we near the bubble, play tends to slow down, but to counter that, Danny McDonough has introduced a pre-flop clock of 15 seconds, which I think is a really good initiative. We are on the tournament floor, so you can hear the noise in the background. And it is a fault, so Kanan will take it down now. I don't know how to introduce him, Ben. I mean, you and I worked together, Billy. I don't know, it would have been when I was about 28 years old, which is a lifetime ago for me. It was one of the first gigs I'd ever done. I'd transitioned across from mainstream media to do a job with Foxtel, and it was with the late great Clinton Gribus.
Ah, yes, I remember.
It was
Hello,
my first
everybody.
gig, yeah, and that's Billy the Croc you're listening to, ladies and gentlemen. So you better just turn the volume at home down just a touch if you've got the kids around. Billy is one of... Now, let me introduce you. Billy's one of the longest-standing pros in Australian poker, a decorated poker player, to say the least, among other things. We're about to go into comedy, so if you didn't know Billy, he has this severe comedy streak, but make no mistake, underneath there, if he gets you at the table and you're talking comedy, he's also taking your chips at the same time. So first of all, Billy, how does it feel to have the Aussie Millions back after 6 years? Because you've been around since the Aussie Millions was, you know, the Australasian Poker Tour. So how does it feel now after 6 years? Because there's a big pause, right? There's been a big pause and a question mark, right?
We had the COVID. We had a couple of elections here and there with Trump coming in and out. It's been absolutely overwhelming to come back and see the numbers that we've had for this poker series. A lot of people said to me, what are you going to play at the Aussie Millions this year? And I said, look, I'm going to play the first event. They're guaranteeing $1 million. I'll probably get 1.2, 1.3. Well, what they get, 2.7?
Well, yeah, and we, oh, wow.
Okay,
We're just going to...
Let's get back to the action.
All right, so we've got Nelson Dong, who's called a $58,000 bet from Maxwell Young, who shoved with it pocket tens. And now we've had Karnan, who's been in almost every hand since we started the coverage, and active against Nelson and both Maxwell and Nelson. And now he's shoved with aces. So now it's back to Nelson with a big decision, Billy. Is this a big decision?
This is an easy fold for Nelson.
Is he counting it out? Nelson's a man of theatre. He's been in this booth. He's one of our boys.
Okay, well, Nelson, I think he recently just won down the road. No, he'll fold, that's it.
Yeah,
I thought he would fold and get out of the way.
It's a good fold, right. So now it's an all-in situation where aces versus tens, and Kanan could climb up 564,000, or Maxwell needs a 10.
Well, here's the 80-20 scenario where 1 in 5 the tens will win and the aces should hold. Kanan's an interesting character here. We played heads up for an Aussie Million seat. Now let's just watch the flop. Oh, there it is in the window.
Oh, well, and an ace of... And they're all hearts.
Oh, my
Of
goodness.
course, the ace is there with the ace of hearts. So let's see if the ace can turn things around.
A red three, thank you very much.
Yeah. So a river heart will eliminate. And no, it isn't. So what do you know? Tens double up. Maxwell Young will double up through Kanan. Tell us about Kanan. What's your experience?
Kanan, we played, this is interesting, about, I reckon it was early January. And I came up and played a satellite with him. And there was about 20, we ended up heads up. And there was a seat for the Aussie Million. The second prize was 8.5, and we had about the same amount of chips left. And I said to Kanan, would you like me to buy the seat and I'll pay you cash? He goes, oh, no, I really want an Aussie Million seat. I said, okay, no problem. So he paid me a small amount of cash. I got 8.5 plus 1,000 Kanan paid me. And then someone came up and he said, here you go, Kanan, that's your 4th seat. And I said, what are you doing? Because I want to show my family.
Right. He was proud.
He was proud. He was proud.
He
I was
won the
thinking, okay, I said, you got more seats than the furniture store down the road.
What's he like as a player? Can he play?
He actually plays reasonably well, and I think he got a good rap from Carl Burns. I was speaking to Carl about him, and so I only played him with him that night, so I played for a few hours. He seemed to have a few moves here and there, and for an elderly gentleman like me, we don't play like the young kids, but he actually has some moves. Now, this is an interesting final table because there's a couple of people that I actually know. Is that Liam Rourke? No?
No.
Who's the guy with the blue hat?
So blue hat is Scott Stewart from Long Beach, California.
Ah, right. Okay, there we go.
Action's on Scott. There he is in shot.
Okay.
Man to his left, Maxwell Young from Boynton Beach, Florida. These guys are come from the other side of the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We've even got in seat 6 Aaron Stefan from Irving, Texas. So 3 Americans are on this table. A couple of Melburnians as well. And 1 Queenslander, Josh Deuce.
Okay, so we have a big variety of people from all over the globe playing the Aussie Millions. And let me ask you a question, Paul. Did you expect the number to be this big?
I called it 721, but to be fair, I called it when I saw the opening day. I didn't call it, early days. I think the expectation on the return of the Aussie Millions was sort of, if we get to 500, 600, this would be over expectations.
Yeah.
But then as the satellites started to build and people played more and more, the appetite really started to shine through. But when we arrived, opening event, it was almost a different story. It was almost like an accelerated version of what everybody expected.
Okay, let's just get back to the action for a minute. It looks like Josh here's, you got a better than me. 8-6 of spades, is it, for Scott Stewart?
So 8-6 of spades for Scott Stewart. He's raised it up and called by Josh, who's in the big blind. 2 spades on the flop, up and down, and flush draw. Well,
this is a pretty easy win. The other gentleman's got 6-9. He's probably not going to take one off. Is Scott checked here?
Yes, Josh has checked, and now action on Scott.
He should bet easily something here. He's probably going to come out. What are the blinds? 3-6.
Yeah, pot's 33.
He should come out about 15 or 14.
14 is the number, Billy.
Okay.
This is C. See, for those at home who thought he was just comedy, he's not. He's sharp as a razor.
And how much has Josh got involved? I can't see very properly.
He's got 151,000 in chips.
He should just fold
and a gutser.
Instantly here. We're close to the money here.
He's not going to make a move here, being silly.
No, he's got a gut shot 8. That's about it. And Scott Stewart, it wouldn't matter if the guy's got 3 aces here. He'd be going all in with this hand.
Oh, he's reaching for chips, Billy. He's going to make it's a raise. He's making a move.
Well, Scott should actually shove all in here.
See, if you'd have spent more time in commentary, Billy, you realise that everything you say gets untangled in front of you as soon as you say it.
That's fine. Well, Scott Stewart's got how many chips?
Scott Stewart's got 307,000, so he's not looking very happy, but the hand's a very strong hand, so good theatre.
This is a very powerful hand. He's got the flush draw and he's got the straight draw. He cannot fold. That's folding is absolutely
not
out
in
of the
question, right? It's either a smooth call or a raise.
I think I just rather prefer to shove. Here, he's the one that's raised coming in. He's got called, which means Josh had never re-raised him to make a 3-bet early. So I'm not even sure what Scott's pondering here. There's no way he's folding. If a fold is clear,
Ben, we've seen a lot of Hollywood with this card this week.
We have. The card has been used very strategically at times to make it, a little bit of Hollywood.
Throughout all the coverage. Yeah. Lots and lots of players are using it this way.
We're getting close to the money here. We're like 20 odd short out. So he's probably taking his time. So
he's quickly moved all in now.
There we go, and that's to me that's what I think I would have done as well.
And now Josh will let it go. So some nice play there from Scott Stewart, and probably got himself out. If he'd appealed at an 8 and it was a spade, he would have been in a bit of beg your pardon, it couldn't have been a spade, but he could have got himself into a lot of trouble there. So there's the chip count. We're missing some details, but we'll catch you up on that. Tom McMahon and Duncan Cameron both over $1 million. Canaan with about $500,000. And Scott Stewart with about 380,000.
Okay, well, a lot of the boys were asking me. I got knocked out late yesterday and day 2. A lot of people were asking me, when do you think we'll make the money? And I basically told them at the $5,000, $10,000 level. I think level 16, late 16 or early 17, we should make the money.
Well, we're told 96 is the bubble, so it should start to slow right down. We've lost a couple of players, so we're down to 112. We've got 3 Hashims in the field, Billy, and you know how dangerous that is.
Oh, my God. I guess we've got Joe still left, correct?
Joe last check was about 700,000. He's got the look in his eye, Billy. I've got to say, since the start of this tournament, he's had a real look of determination, and he's also very comfortable on his stack.
Look, Joe's very, very passionate. He loves the Aussie Millions, but he really like to put a big score here, and he's in a good position at the moment.
Yeah.
His brother Tony, I believe, is still in.
I would never rule out Tony Hashim. Just when he smiles, you just think, is he in the game or not? But he is as sharp as a razor. 2-time Player of the Year back in the
that's right.
ANZPT days.
So Tony's been around, and
James is quite formidable.
He's the youngest son of all, James. and they're probably the most good-looking young lad I've seen for ages.
Yeah.
And his beautiful wife now, Antonia.
Well, what you want to do is you want to say that at the Hashem family dinner and see the argument that ensues after.
Okay, let's get back to
love
the
that.
action for a minute there, Paul.
So-
Ace Queen of Spades will definitely raise. It has. Nelson's done the right thing, got out of the way. The 10-8 will fold, unless we have a clash here.
We've got a new player at the table.
The guy, the guy with the blue hat. That you don't know that. Oh, that's Liam Rourke. If that's not Liam Rourke, I'm a monkey's uncle.
Yeah.
Not him.
No, that's Josh Dukes.
No, not him. I'll show you in a minute. We'll go back again. This guy here, turning his head on your right-hand side, next to Canaan.
Well, we're waiting on some information on that player. So
Okay.
if you say it's
That is Liam Rourke.
then
That is Liam Rourke.
player has changed out, and
Okay.
Liam Rourke is coming into this table. Don't know how many chips he's got yet.
I'm 99% sure it's Liam.
That is Liam O'Rourke for sure.
Where's he from? Where's Liam from?
Online handle of Rourke's is a Melbourne guy.
Oh, Melbourne
Yeah,
guy.
I played with Liam a lot. Very talented poker player and a very good sports gambler.
There you go.
Okay.
He maybe give me some tips then on my sports betting, which has been going horrendously this season.
Yeah, true blue out of shoot number 2, buddy. Where's our man Van?
Oh, Van was. I think he's entered into the deep stacks today.
Oh,
So
into the deep freeze.
He's into the deep stacks,
Now-
which
now-
is very interesting.
Now he's done amazingly well at this Aussie Millions as well.
He's playing really good poker at the moment.
So let's get back to the action here again. We'll try to give you some commentary on the hands that are important, and not the hands where everyone's just folding. Okay, just like this.
Of course, it's a good opportunity to mention our partners, Pepperstone. Pepperstone, they're a trading platform, so if you don't know who Pepperstone are, they are the #1 trading partner. So if you want to go and visit www.pepperstone.com.au. They're one of the partners here at the Aussie Millions. We've also got Poker Media Australia, of course, and then we've got Poker News giving you the online updates.
Okay, Canaan's now woken up with the 2 puppers, pair of kings.
I think he's getting a bit slapped by the deck here, Billy.
And I
Kings.
tell you what, well, he did lose with aces, so,
Yeah.
Now, will Duncan make some sort of fancy move here and try to 3-bet out of the small blind? He should
gets
fold.
out of the way. Round to Scott Stewart.
Yeah, Scott should fold, but how much is the raise?
The raise is 12,000, so he's doubled the big blind here. And it looks
Scott
like
will probably
Scott's
peel
gonna-
one off.
Oh, he thought
No,
about
he
it. Picked up
folded.
chips
Okay.
and
Yeah,
folded,
that's
so
fine.
that's a new one.
Well done, Canaan. You lost one and you won. Good on you, buddy. He won peanuts and ended up losing a fruit shop.
We saw Dave Gore bust earlier in the main event.
Oh, he's out, is he?
Yeah.
He was on my table yesterday, and we actually swapped 3% if we both made the money. And he actually got a little bit fortunate yesterday in a couple of hands, and I thought, geez, maybe it's his time again. Because to win one of these events, you've either got to break aces, or you've got to get aces and kings to hold up when you go all in for
I think
huge
you have to
pots.
do both, actually,
Yeah.
in a field this big, right? So, and that's kind of the norm. But, I look now, actually, in that time, we've lost 3 more players.
Yeah.
So down to 109 now. We're getting really close to the money. 20K minimum payout, Billy. So when we talk about the bubble, what's going through your head right now if you're at 109 players with the bubble at 96? What's going through your head?
Well, I'd be looking...
Oh, 117 now. Beg your pardon. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, sorry, it's 100.
We've got information coming from everywhere, folks.
Yeah.
And like I've said many times, this isn't television, it's broadcast. You get all the pimples that go with it. Billy, when you're at this point in the tournament, for those who are at home who've never played a main event...
Before you continue, Paul, Nelson's raised with a pair of 9 balls. Let's see what happens here. He's Canaan.
he's going to come in.
He's going to come in. He's got the 6-7. He's +2. I'd rather fold with Canaan's hand here. It's just too early. Someone might just shove over the top. His hand's not powerful enough. I prefer he raise with it rather than call with it.
And
but
it's
anyway,
in middle position, Billy.
Yeah.
This is a loose play, right? And then you got Duncan now on the button with pocket 4s.
yeah, he's in the big blind, I think, Duncan, correct?
No, he's on the button.
Oh, that's his blind. Sorry, I think big
Let
blind.
me
Well
remind
done.
you, I know it's been a while from television. Seat 1, Seat
Yeah.
2, you're the expert.
I can't even see, mate. I've got to get glasses.
This is part of the reason I'll help you.
Thank you. I can see now. I saw BB, and that stands for big. That stands for amount of.
If you like, I can write it down.
That's all right. Well, he should call with the fours and try to flop a set.
He has done that. So now we're on Maxwell Young in the big blind, who's got ace-6 offsuit, and he's thinking about something. Thinking about something? No, he's not thinking about something. He's going to get out of the way.
I think it's better. The ace rag. I rather call with 6-8 and 6-7 rather than.
All right, let me bring this together. So Nelson Dong raises to 12,000. He's got a call from Kanan, and he's got a call on the button with pocket fours. Let's have a look. All right, it's a king in the door. King, king, ace. Interesting, this one, Billy. Take us through, because pocket nines is the strongest hand, but this board might scare everyone.
Okay, because Nelson actually was initial raiser, he'll probably make a small C bet. Okay, he's not going to give it up. Nelson's a very, very good player. I'll be shocked if he checks here. He did check. Okay, well, I'm shocked. I thought he would have fired 1 or 2 bets. Kanan obviously going to check with 7 high, and I don't think Duncan's...
Well, he's going to use his position. Careful,
Okay.
He was going to make you a donkey again.
Okay, I think Nelson will call here. What did he bet?
We'll wait for the 21,000. Pot now 72, so about a third of the pot. Back round to Nelson now. Initial raiser.
He's trying to stare him down and see if he can pick up a tell. Now he's analysing. He's saying, what's he called with here on the button? Nelson's also trying to preserve his chip sack, trying to get into the money here.
Now, do you play now, in relation to my question? Are we playing the hand differently now because we are?
Yeah, he's folded.
10 off the money. You know,
Okay,
is that
all right.
he might he have played that hand very differently?
Look, I'm going to actually ask Carl Burns about this one. I honestly would have preferred Nelson just to fire 1.5 big blinds into this pot. By checking...
Continuation.
Yeah, just one,
right.
on this particular case. You're the aggressor.
Yeah.
I know it's come ace, king, king, but your hand range is supposed to be that.
Yeah.
So I just, he just gave up and gave up
But
a lot of
strange things happen,
equity
right?
there.
11 off the money. That's when the strange stuff happens.
So it's 117, so we're actually paying top 95.
Sorry,
so we're
20,
still 22
21
off, 21, 22
21 off the money. Right, okay.
Yeah. Are you having fun here, Paul?
Look, I won't lie. It's been a lot of fun, actually. It's been a bit like I feel like a broken record saying this, a bit like a reunion. When the tournament came back, I think there was a cautious optimism from everybody about whether this would be, timely, and I think the guys from Crown really got it right. And then when I walked in, to see some of the players that were still around, a really good excuse. Poker's a great excuse.
Okay, let's get back to the action for a minute there. Nelson's waking up with 2 hooks, the jacks. He's definitely going to raise. We'll probably make the standard 12K raise. He's sitting there. Am I right? 12?
Let's have a look. Yes,
Yep.
you are right, Billy.
Okay.
Makes it 12,000. Let's see if he's got any customers.
At the moment, everyone hasn't got a hand. There won't be any clash. The 7-8 of diamonds might call. He's in the cut off. How many chips has he got? Yeah, he could probably peel. He's folding as well. Next hand, 10-9. That'll probably fold. That's a dealer button. Scott should fold this. It's not straight. 10-9 suited, I would definitely be interested, but 10-9 off. It does have a lot of bigs and got position, but I prefer a fold here. Thank you.
Excuse me, we are live, and I'm just going to stand up and say hi to Sarah Bilney.
Sarah, one of the Tominies.
We're live on the air. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Look, I'm giving her a hug. One of the greats of the game. Nice to see you.
Okay. For the people here, the Tominies have torn up the Aussie Millions
Michael's
this year.
been
Michael
uber
Tominies final
impressive.
tabled the 5K, and Sarah final tabled the Turbo. Is that correct, Sarah?
You guys are just
And
fantastic.
where did you finish? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Ace 10 versus Ace 10. There you go, folks.
So good to see you, Sarah. Lovely to see you.
Okay, while we've been talking to Sarah, we had a flop, and we got the King calling out of the blinds. Again, Nelson's flopped. Got a decision to make here. Nelson's got a decision to make. Look, as I said, I think he should fire a bet here. I know it's an aces there and he's scared, but he should at least come here with 1.5 bigs, 15K. The pot size 36. Here we go. 11K, 12K. What's he fighting?
He's going to make it 10.
Okay, close enough to my 11.
Nice and thin. Does Max peel one here, or is he at 162 and the bubble nearing?
Yep.
Is he going to play this differently?
I'd prefer he folds, but he might take one off here.
That's
What's he done here?
looks like a call. So we're going to go to the turn. It is a king, so he catches a piece and he takes the lead.
Wow. Now Nelson will shut down. Not because the king has come and he's beaten at the moment, but he's got called. He can beat tens, but he can't beat an ace. So Nelson should check back. Also, the king wasn't a great card for him. Just in case Maxwell had taken one off, either with king, queen, king, jack, or queen, jack. He can beat the 10 nines. He can beat the 10 jacks. I will be surprised if Nelson continues here. I think he would just check back. He's going to think his time, but I'll be surprised if he bets. Yep, there we go.
There's the check.
And here goes the river, an 8. Now,
So Maxwell Young with the best hand.
it should go check, check here. I'll be surprised if Maxwell also bets. I'm trusting the hand will go check, check here, Paul. Let's see if I'm right. See if I can get one right, viewers. Oh, look, the comments down the bottom. 9 should have fired definitely once. There we go, 2 passive. Thank you, viewers. Look, we're very close to the money here. It's a $20,000 bubble. You can't make a mistake. Did Maxwell check? Yep. I think Nelson will check as well.
So losing players down to 116 players now.
So we're getting closer to the money. Nelson's thinking, yep, here we go. He's thinking, yep, he's just turned over his hand.
Reveal.
And he's, yeah. Okay, so let's continue with a bit of fun. Now, Paul, you play poker a bit yourself, don't you?
Oh, I try, Billy. I try. You and I have overlapped on the table occasionally over the years. I find myself always suffering at the hands.
We've got Liam Rourke's name up.
There he is, finally. Absolutely. I try and follow in Ben Blaschke's footsteps. I think he's quite a formidable player, but I'd just like to try and lower expectations.
Ben Blaschke.
He can play.
I heard you wrote a book on poker, right?
I wish. I wish.
It's called the checkbook.
Exactly. I'm just going to give a bit of an update on some of the other notables that are doing pretty well in the field. Sheldon Mayer, very well-known player from Sydney, right up near the top of the chip counts at the moment. We've got Didier Guerin, another Sydney-sider, doing very well. New South Wales State of Origin team captain, of course.
Yes,
Didier.
a very, very talented individual, Didier, and so is Sheldon. I've played with both these individuals, yes.
Malcolm Trainer going along pretty comfortably, around 640,000. So that's obviously Joe Hasham as well.
People who don't know Malcolm Trainer, he won $1 million in Vegas in 2024 in a 20,000 field mystery bounty, which I also played with Mr. Ash Gupta at the time. I finished 244th. Ash finished about 160th, and Malcolm Trainer went on to win $1 million US, I believe. Is that correct, Mr. Ben?
That sounds right. In the Millionaire Maker, I believe, the Millie Maker.
It was a mystery bounty, correct?
Yeah.
And they had two $1,000 entry, and they had two $1 million prize pools in the mystery bounty. And
also saw Jen Castle in the field there, Ben, too, so she's still in the main event after coming second in the 5K.
Absolutely.
Well, this will be a re-race for sure. The ace-3 diamonds has opened up. The ace-king will definitely be 3-betting. Here we go.
Thomas McMahon with 1.1 million in chips.
And Nelson,
over to Nelson with ace-9 off suit.
He'll fold like an accordion.
Honda folds and then back to Kanan.
What's Kanan woken up with?
Ace-3 of diamonds. Here's the initial razor in this hand, and he's been 3-bet.
He should fold. He's out of the small. Whenever you get folded, now this is interesting. If you're watching out here, guys, whenever you get re-raised out of the small blind or the big blind, most of the time they've got a very strong hand. And he's folded.
So, Billy, you've got plenty of experience in the Aussie Millions. Of course, you've made a final table here. What do you, when you look back at that experience, what are your memories of that time?
Well, Ben, I've actually played. I'm one of the original guys who's played every single main event of the Aussie Millions from inception. I'm not too sure how many times I've cashed. I have cashed.
Have you ever done the maths on what that would cost? Out of curiosity.
Well,
if my father was alive, he'd say, Billy, how much did that cost?
Yeah.
He might want to do the maths and go, because you're a hell of a player and you've returned a lot, right? Without bearing our souls, and we certainly don't want to see any tax returns, Billy. But what we want to know is, over that much time, how do you figure you're winning, you're losing? You know, how do you measure? Is the question. How do you measure your success as a player?
Well, look, playing a main event, everyone wants to play a main event. In the early days, You know, when I, you know, like in the early days, I always used to say to myself, this is a good thing for beginners as well, and poker players. They always say, I want to play the main event. And I'll keep talking unless we get a clash of hands here. And I say to people, and they want to play, I say, look, if you want to play the main event and you can't afford it, play a satellite, play a smaller event to get into the big event. So play a $200 event.
We talked about this the other day, right, about fields and...
Because if you can't win in a satellite, well, there's no point you ponying up $10,000 to get the experience in playing that, because playing the main event is probably one of the biggest emotional roller coasters that you can play as poker. Okay? Now, let's get back to the action again. We've got the ace, deuce. Paul, you take over the action because I can't see the cards.
So at the moment, Duncan Cameron's raised it up. He's got $1 million in chips. He's raised it up with ace, deuce of spades. It's been called by Tom McMahon on the button with 8-9 of hearts, and now it's around to Kanan, who calls in the big blind with a raggy 5-3 offsuit.
I don't mind the call by Kanan. It's only one bet. Okay, he'll going sheriff. Keep him low, sheriff. I'm riding a Shetland till he want baby cards. And it's only costing him one bet and he's getting huge odds. So calling, okay.
Oh, look at this. A very interesting hand for Thomas, but it is checked by Kanan. Around to Duncan, the initial pre-flop raiser. That's a very wet board, so
he should check, really.
Cautious.
As you picked it right on the head here, Paul. It's a very wet board. It looks like there's no way that no one's connected to this board.
So he checks. And around to Thomas, who likely fires on the button. We're going to take a break after this hand.
Okay.
And come back a little later with coverage. Turn a 3 of spades as all players check. It goes back now, and look at this. Kanan's going to take a stab by the looks of things.
Yeah, he'll take a stab. The ace deuce will disappear, and 8. There's no way Thomas is folding this. I hope I'm right. Okay.
Let's have a look. Duncan gets out of the way, as you state, and
Thomas will call. He's got position. So he's not folding. He's not folding this. He's also got a straight draw. There goes the call. Now Kanan will shut down. I can't see Kanan double barreling here.
Yeah, well, he's hit his straight.
Especially now.
Bottom end, but it's still a straight.
So
over
should
to
go
Kanan,
check.
who quickly checks.
And Thomas might fire one, but he could also check because what's he going to get called with? Maybe he's definitely not getting called by one single pair. We're getting closer to the money. The pot's actually got 69,000 in, so I'd be happy to just to take it. Okay, lovely little small value bet here by Thomas, and Kanan's going to fold. I'll be shocked if he does anything else. I keep saying I'll be shocked, but let's see if I'm right.
Yeah, that's the commentator's curse, Billy.
No, he'll fold. Okay, I'm going to say right now he'll fold.
116 players remain. 770 began in what is considered by many as above expectations record field at the Aussie Millions, really, especially after 6 years. Many of the big names of poker, Dave Gore, Tyrone Crost, all return. There it is.
There we
go. He folds the hand.
Right.
Just confirming with my man Ben Blaschke when we'll be taking a break. We are taking a break from our coverage right now. We are at the 2026 Aussie Millions presented to you by CrownBet. My name's Paul Curry. I'm with Billy the Croc and Ben Blaschke from Poker Media Australia. We've got our live reporting on Poker News, so please check in for updates. We'll keep you updated both online and through the broadcast, but we'll return pretty soon, so keep your eye out, and then we'll join you very soon at the Aussie Millions.
progress. It's relentless. Earned by pushing forwards through the setbacks and the wins, all for an opportunity that others might miss. Two worlds driven by performance, guided by data, insights, and feel. It's never just a move, it's a mindset. Because better never settles.
CrownBet is back in the game, built for the big moments in racing and sport, from a name you know. Bet with CrownBet today.
Chances are you're about to lose.